Well, we do that by simply trying to reduce and cut out the middleman, and not to say that they're not important, but I think they add a certain value. And what we try to do is basically go directly to the people actually creating the pieces, or work directly with them with new design, therefore, you know, bypassing a couple of middlemans, and the margins that the middleman usually take basically now go directly to the artisans, which obviously they get paid more for their work, and hopefully that helps them with their expenses and cost of living and their standard of living.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on the buyers, you know, if you're looking at your typical retail buyers, obviously they just don't have the time or the resources, and it's not that important to them. For us, the fact that we know that if we bypass one middleman, you probably being able to pay the artisan directly, maybe even twice more than what they would normally been able to sell it for. So I think it's a huge impact on the local people actually doing the work. I don't see, when we started doing this, I felt that not too many people are really doing this, because you know, you can actually go and find literally dozens, if not hundreds of retailers that a lot of them are manufacturer as well as distributor, but not really the artisans themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that might be some contentious conversation there as well. But you know, all the stones that we picked are very abundant, and we really don't have to unearth the earth to actually get to these stones. And the fact that the work really go into the cut and the polish to really get the color from the stones. I mean, some of these stones you probably already see on a regular basis. You just don't know once you cut it and polish it, you actually get that kind of brilliance and color out of it. And we really are not doing any semi-precious or precious stone, because that to me is a lot more of the mining that we actually have to get to those things. You know, our stones are very abundant, and again, I understand that at some point these stones may not be that abundant, but at this point there's really no danger from obtaining these different stones. Any mining in general is harmful, and there is no eco-friendly way to really mine most anything, from what I understand. But silver is definitely one of them. And our focus has been really to use recycled silver, and again, there's an abundance amount of silver that's out there right now, so we want to make sure that all of our products really come through from the recycled silver product, which again, you can control better when you actually work directly with the artisan and not fresh silver mined from the earth, and that's kind of our way of doing the best that we can to make sure that what we're trying to do is as close to fair trade and eco-friendly as possible. You know, one of the things I wanted to do with this site is to really give back, and there's so many worthwhile costs that we could do to give back. And I had kind of went out and found the Elephant organization, and this particular one really touches me, simply because it's a smaller organization. It's started by a husband and wife, a team. The husband is the Mahout, who's the elephant trainer in Thailand, and basically fell in love with his wife, who's actually from the Netherlands. And together, after working for another camp for several years, decided to start their own elephant rescue, or I would call retirement camps. And so they started out with 4 elephants, and these are older elephants that typically would be discarded or just, you know, wasted away. And they give them a good space of living, feed them, and obviously it takes a lot of care to feed an elephant. So part of that project was they built some huts, and these are very simplistic and basic living condition, and they basically have a foundation started by the wife's sister and her family. The sad story behind this is after the wife had her first daughter, you know, she passed away unexpectedly. So the husband is continuing to, Port is his name, he continued to make an effort and work through the supporting of the elephant camps. And he's a great trainer. He knows how to care for the elephants. And my plan is to do something that we can help him because it's very remote. There's no internet connection. There's no telephone, so it's fairly out there, and the website is actually helping him in some ways. But they can have full guests, and the time that I was there until sometime they'd have no guests at all. So, but obviously the feeding of the elephants, the foods and the water and everything is a constant expense. There's a couple of projects that they're working on that I think specifically we could do a good job. One of them is to put in a generator to actually get some fresh water from the river, and the second one is to really plant food for the elephant in a field, because right now what they're doing is actually buying food for the elephant as a supplement to foraging. And the foraging is okay, except the land that they have is kind of limited, so they can't forage beyond the land that they currently own. The night that I was there, one of the elephants actually broke loose from the chain and basically went to harvest the sugar field plantation next door. It's a funny story, however, obviously the owner would need to pay the sugar field owner the cost of what the elephant had damaged or ate. So we wanted to look into planting this kind of rotating grass that's fast growing and provide good nutrition for the elephant, and obviously can recur. And that's going to take plowing equipment, seeds, and obviously some irrigation system. So those are the two projects that I would like to be able to contribute through the proceeds of these products. I travel and visit Thailand several times a year, so I always go back there and see how they're doing. I have several cousins who's actually there contacting them about how things are going, and we've been trying to help them by sending people who have interest in this to visit there, and obviously through their visit expose them. We've got some good interest from our blogs on different people that actually have visited the camp, and creating some other link to try to help that. So I think this is a worthwhile cause. And one of the things that happened is one of the original 4 elephants actually passed away due to old age, and one of the youngest elephant, which is she's 51 years old, is actually expecting, and probably late this year or next year there'll be a new addition to that team. And as they can support, they're probably going to get more elephant that's kind of in that retired or handicap or in some way that really just need to live out their lives in peace. So that's kind of the thing that we wanted to have, and obviously through the whole process, making sure that Port and his family, by the way, he remarried, and his wife is actually expecting probably in about June or July time frame. So that will be another addition to his family, and he continued to do good work, and we want to make sure that we do everything we can to kind of help him and keep this camp going.